So I'm going to paint another acrylic painting, and on my last acrylic painting I had some comments that people wanted to see the whole process. So I'm going to start with the sketch here, and I'm just sketching from a photo on my computer. And you can see I have a grid here, but this isn't a compositional grid. This is a grid I'm using simply to transfer my drawing. It is the traditional divisions of threes, but as you know, I'm not really a big fan of that compositional method. So you can see I was kind of checking an angle there on the top of the shed. So you can just kind of angle your pencil or whatever, and you can kind of record the angles of whatever you're looking at. So I'm going to speed things up here a little bit. It's going to be a little too tedious if we have to watch this whole thing in real time. So what you see in this video here is about an hour's worth of drawing and painting. So I finished the painting in 2 hours, so I'll finish the rest of this video later, and we'll just see it, the first half of it painted today. So I'm just measuring, and I've got a grid on the screen of my computer. So the grid just helps me to get things where they should be. So not a lot of mystery here. I am using a Sharpie, and that's just simply so that you can see what I'm doing. Normally I would use maybe a 6B pencil or a piece of charcoal. And the Sharpie is very persistent, and so I actually had trouble kind of painting over it later. So I don't really suggest using a Sharpie, especially with the paint that I'm going to be using. I use in this painting Liquitex basic paints, and they're a perfectly good paint. It's considered a student grade, but it's a really nice paint for especially the first layer because it dries very flat, but it is somewhat more translucent than other grades of paint. Typically I like to use, especially in the final layer, I like to use golden acrylics. They're really a nice full-bodied paint, and I do use some golden paints on the glazing section, which will be in the next video. But you know, it's not really necessary to put in all the grays here. I'm kind of doing a little cross hatching, but you know, it sort of helps you to keep things organized, and I'm kind of planning out where I'm putting my paint basically. So obviously where I'm doing the cross hatching is going to be my darkest pigments. So I'm just putting in the details of the sky and distant trees and so on. Now I did tone my canvas, and that is I think a good idea generally. Especially on this first layer, there's going to be a lot of that tone showing through a lot of my paint, and I like that little bit of warmth coming through, especially in the sky and in the trees. So you asked to see all of this, so here it is. Putting in some deciduous trees in the distance, and this is just basically you know, trying to put in enough information that I know where I'm headed. Now there's a lot of foreground in this painting. This is a 24 by 24 canvas, and what I'm basically doing here is I just want to remind myself that I want these clumps of grass to get larger as I move towards the foreground. So I'm trying to just sort of abbreviate those clumps. Now here I am, I'm starting to put in some paint, and you can see it's going in very, very thin. And in the foreground I actually tried to put in the paint really thickly, And when it dried, it just flattened right out. So this Liquitex basic paint, it flattens out quite a bit. So and the reason it does that is the paint has body because it has water in it, and when that water evaporates, it reduces down to just the pigment in the binder, which is the acrylic medium. So it becomes quite a bit thinner dimensionally. So I'm going to speed up things here a little bit, and I'm just using, I actually have quite a bit of different pigments in here, but you don't really notice it, but it's just very lightly shifting from a cool to a warm. I'm just blocking in my yellows here. I decided they're way too yellow, so I'm starting to put in some purples and blues into it and trying to push it back down. I actually got this to look pretty nice, and then started kind of glazing over it, and so I'm going to have to repaint that section. But one thing about this kind of paint is it's hard to get a real dark pigment, so I'm using a lot of purple and the green right now to get that really, really dark. And it will dry a little bit darker than what it looks like right here. But with these student grade paints, it's kind of hard to get a really dark pigment, but that's okay, because I can either glaze down later, or I can just lubricate the canvas with my retarding gel and then paint into that. So I'm pushing in some purples into the yellows to kind of neutralize them a little bit. And now here I'm scraping with you saw there just briefly I was scraping with a sculpting tool. So in between layers of paint, I'll go back in and start scraping. So here's a close-up of which you'll see in a minute. And here I'm just very roughly dropping in the darks, and I'm using a lot of purple, and I am using a little bit of raw umber. My wife talked me into using that. She really loves that color. So and I'm just very roughly dropping in the basic shapes of the roofs. So that'll be it until the next video, and we'll finish it up then.